Riveting content. Empowering your life. Welcome to the Sphere. This episode is sponsored by
Women in Linux Summit 2017. Join our online conference with live instructors and speakers as they provide real-world interactive tech training in a collaborative environment on Saturday, August 19th, 2017. Visit womeninlinux.com for tickets. Use code WILTSN for a 10% discount. The Sphere Network. Looking to advertise? Join the Sphere's vast demographic reach of thousands of people all over the world. Send an email today at advertise@thesphere.tv or call us at area code 832-772-7789. Elite Dental Wellness. At Elite Dental Wellness, Dr. Ashandra Baptiste understands that one of the biggest obstacles is dental fear. The vision at Elite Dental Wellness is to ensure every patient is treated with respect, ultimate care, patience, and love. Call us today to make an appointment at area code 713-789-8680.
Welcome back to another episode of Technocrats, where we talk about the ins and outs of technology to empower the digital you. I am your host, Gary Lee, also known as G. Hawkins, of course. You can find me anywhere online, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, we're all the places, anywhere in the interwebs, at G. Hawkins. Now, that's G. Hawkins with a Z, folks. G. Hawkins with a Z. And I'm blessed to be with my main man, Jay. Jay, what up, brother? How you feeling today, man?
Oh, I'm all right, bro. I feel good. You know, as we usually start the show, we have a good little conversation and get excited about what we're going to bring to the people.
Indeed.
And but how's your week been going?
Week's been crazy. Hey, man, happy Thursday.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the weekend. It's so funny. I was talking to my girlfriend. I was like, it's just so funny how fast the week flies.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like Monday through Wednesday just blow away, and here we are back again Thursday, right, with the good old people. So
yes.
I'm just happy to be here, man.
Right.
Happy to be here.
Technocrats.
Side note, are you on iOS 11 beta?
No, I didn't do it. Just
You're not on
participate
beta
this time.
Okay. Just wondering.
Okay.
Just wondering, because I'm slowly inching towards replacing this iPad, and so I
Okay.
want to put my hands on iOS
Right.
11 because
I
that's
got you.
my
I
determining
got you.
factor.
Right.
So I want to play with the
Right.
device with it if I can find one. But
Right. And they just had a new release earlier this week, actually, for that. And they did the 10.3.3 for the security patch for the vulnerability and the wireless thing. So they definitely getting very close to the gold build release.
yeah, I'm waiting. I'm
Yeah.
anxiously waiting. So anybody out there watching, you listening? Hey, if you got an iPad with iOS 11 beta, let me borrow it. The address is on the website. Just take a look at it. So let's dive into a little news, man, because there's a lot of things happening, a lot of things from a lot of big companies that we want to go through today. First and foremost, let's talk a little bit about good old AT&T. Now, AT&T has made the decision that they think it's best, or they're at least leaning towards, deploying what they're called edge computing for AR and VR that's coming down the pipe with the new 5G services. Now, just in general, I'm going to hit you with the layman's. Jay's going to get into the technicals. In general, edge computing, basically, instead of it being in the cloud, still in the cloud, just a distributed model. So that
Right.
cloud is now closer to you, almost kind of like having a desktop in your home, but it's not necessarily in your home. It's, let's just say, down the street somewhere, maybe in a street light, maybe somewhere where you've got that computing power that's closer, so it lowers the latency for you. Am I right, Jay?
Exactly right. That's a very good definition to describe edge computing. We heard about edge computing years ago. We heard different people talk about the parallel computing and supercomputing. What's the difference between supercomputing and high performance computing? But the edge computing is being leveraged because it has to be. It's a technology, is a different type of network architecture that's been around on the board for some time. But as we move to employing and deploying rather 5G networks for smart cities, for IoT, for autonomous vehicles, we're definitely going to need systems that can process all that high type of processes or computations. So as you mentioned, before, as right now, what's prevalent is data centers. So most of our audience probably know what a data center is. It's a central location where everything spearheads to, or a point of attachment for all the services to run a company. So just like for here, say if you have a Microsoft account, everything for your 365 account goes back to the main data center to process you as a subscriber. But speaking on the telecommunications industry side of edge computing, the edge computing systems would be brought to different central offices, and also the architecture would be brought to different cell sites of the cell towers. And there are thousands of cell sites and towers that AT&T have. So what these central offices do, not only do the central offices have servers and systems that process your billing and record your text messages and your voicemails, but they also do different geofencing things and have backways for defense departments to be able to analyze different data as well. But the thing that's going to happen is that these data centers are being re-architected to enable this infrastructure to come, this edge computing to come in, which are going to say, for instance, if you are out in the field and you have your new iPhone 8 or 9 or your new OnePlus 6 or 7, and you trying to utilize that headset for for VR, and you have the goggles for the AR. For that process to run, your phone itself is not going to be able to break down an application on its phone. And the reason why I won't be able to do that, because that requires so much battery power. First of all, two, it's going to require a lot of high computation. There's only so much RAM that you can fit in that form factor of your phone. So you're going to need something else that can handle, a processor that can handle that. So by bringing to the edge, you're able to cut down on time of latency. And then that's the biggest thing here, is that when you're watching someone on television, or you're downloading or looking at a live stream, you don't want to see something that took place 5 or 10 seconds ago and it didn't come through the stream, then the program goes back and try to show it to you again. That wouldn't be right for VR, AR.
Never.
So that's why they are bringing it to the edge. So the different cell sites and towers, you see these little brown buildings aside the roads, sometimes you see with all the big old cables and antennas, those actually have server systems in there, and they're going to be retrofitting a lot of those central offices by putting new server data center style equipment in there to handle this, so they can prepare us to handle all the autonomous vehicles, the new Amazon drones doing delivery. So as most of the audience know, Gary and I are both engineers in different things for networking and in the server systems, and these are things we're both excited about, because we see that the drone stuff we've been talking about, the autonomous vehicles, it is real.
Yeah.
Because billions of dollars in investments are going to edge computing to make it happen.
That's what it is. And for those that don't know, we want to couple this in with the fact that we're talking about these 5G networks. Now, you all remember 3G networks. We're talking old school first iPhone. We're talking old school first G phone. You know,
2G, 1G.
Exactly, 2G services. We're talking 64 kilobytes, stuff like that. That was your 3G service. Now, the theoretical for 3G was 384 kilobytes. Then we moved to the 4G service, and which is kind of sort of like your LTE service.
Yes.
And so you're familiar now with the LTE. Some of you have V over LTE, which is voice over LTE, and other things. Theoretical for there is about 100 megs. Now, your cell phone probably gets about 20, 30 megs on a good day with a good tower, and it's not too congested. Now, when we're talking 5G, theoretical there, we're talking gigabyte traffic, and multi-gig traffic. The question is, one, what is that going to look like? Is it going to be theoretical? Are you going to be able to get anywhere near theoretical speeds based on how many people are on a particular tower? Then that goes back to what AT&T, Verizon, all these other companies do. But the end result is cutting that time down. And I think that it's great for everyone involved, because nobody wants to go through buffer, Jay. No, but you don't want your video buffering. You don't want your games buffering. You surely don't want your AR and VR buffering.
Right.
That's just not a good look for the future. It's not, man.
Right.
It's not. So hit us up if you have any questions. Shoot us an email, technocrats@thesphere.tv. We want to be able to answer those emails as we talk about some of these things that are coming down the pipe. Next up to bat, which got me excited, was the fact that Google Glass.
Oh,
yes. I said it. Google Glass, which was our first real in-the-field look at an augmented reality scenario. So you might want to technically heads-up display more than augmented per se, but still within that same realm. You have the device that sits on the side of your glass, and it projects up here so you're able to look up and see pertinent information that at that time was tethered to your phone.
Right.
But Jay,
Right.
looks like Google Glass is back with 2.0, and they're doing it a little different this time, hitting it up from the enterprise perspective.
Yes.
So for me, overall, this is a good look, right? We're going to put this article up for those that are watching us right now. And remember, when we talk about Google Glass coming back, but this is not for everybody. Right now, enterprise related, they've built specific enterprise apps. And one of the big things, Jay, that I enjoyed about this is the fact that you've now decoupled the Google Glass away from the phone, which is so important if you really want to have that true push towards augmented reality and these glasses that we've already predicted.
Right.
So how do you feel about this? Do you feel like this is a good way to come back from an enterprise perspective as a bigger, proof of concept, or do you feel like they're going to bottleneck themselves?
Well, I thought that was interesting because before it was mainly leaning mainstream toward the consumer, and I think they found a lot of difficulty getting a lot of going against different privacy laws to be able to put that kind of power to the hands of a consumer, and then also to get at their right price point. And they was very far ahead of their time.
They were.
But going now with the enterprise model, they're going to be able to do easier, I think, trials. If those who are watching the video podcast you see on your screen now, you can see these things occurring and going on into the factories, and you can see how different people who are working in distribution centers are able to see different data and things that they normally won't have on hand or be able to be aware of. For example, let's say if you are working in something, or a surgeon in a hospital, and they have both of their hands full, but they want to be able to see what's going on a monitor or something of the other part of the body. They can just speak it and say it, and Google Glass will bring it up for them. And they can see that while their hands are busy and they can't touch the screen and do anything else. That's just one example. But as you see from the screen working in the factory with the Google Glass being on, and this individual being able to see that transaction was processed from that scan, as he is a puller, and he's able to get on the machine belt to know that, hey, I did grab the right thing, and it's being confirmed not only by the barcode but by the new feature that's going to be in the Google Android iOS coming soon with the scanning of the images. You remember that we talked about that? So we're seeing Google is using everything that it comes out with, and it's not just a gimmick like we were saying. We're seeing how they are making use of all the things that they announced at the Google I/O conference.
And I think that's the biggest part of this, Jay, is that there has to be a proof. There has to be a case for use. And in any situation, especially when you're talking about software, when you're talking about things that are to enable someone to have something done, to complete a task, you want that software, that hardware, whatever that is, to be as efficient as possible.
Right.
So it takes a lot of coders to get together and say, hey, I want to put together a platform. Why not utilize something that was tried before, Google Glass, pair it with specialized applications, and now I can give you real-time confirmation, which is what we saw in the video, of things that are happening. That's how it becomes popular. Make it popular at work and watch it filter down to the home.
Oh, yes, and they have the budgets, and trust me, as we saw in that video, just that one example, you're going to see so many. Imagine all these Walmart distribution centers, or if you have a Publix, or you have H-E-B is large here in Texas as a grocery supply house, or just Cisco Foods. And the people are going to be able to cut down on mistakes because they had that real-time data to verify, like you just mentioned, the real-time content data to verify that, hey, they did actually pull the right part, or, hey, they did actually complete the right procedure. And having that is valuable, but it's not just in the warehousing part, but also we talk about the healthcare. But then imagine it seeing it in law enforcement.
Ooh.
I can see it using law enforcement.
But here's the flip. I mean, will they turn it on? That's the thing. Will they actually utilize this? And I would love for them. We can't even get them to wear their body cams. Let alone get them to walk around with some Google Glass.
Yes.
But like I said, you got all these hard people on the back end writing all this code, developing all this software. These Windows users, Mac users, these Linux users. You got these things happening on the back end. Let's utilize the technology. Let's utilize the hardware.
Right. And as you said, we have all these different users, and a lot of these systems that we're going to have are going to be running on Linux. And speaking of Linux, this portion of the show is sponsored by the Women in Linux Summit 2017. Women in Linux is a vibrant community supporting women in Linux-centric tech careers. Women in Linux hosts an active education podcast and a job board for open Linux career opportunities. Plus, Women in Linux has a database of scholarships and resources for students in computer sciences, engineering, and technology. And now, Women in Linux has something special for you. Are you curious about how you fit into technology? Have you ever felt lost in your tech-based journey? Ever wondered what skills to focus on next? Or could you just not afford to attend a tech conference? The Women's in Linux Summit 2017 virtual conference is for you. The conference has live instructors and speakers providing real-world interactive tech training in a collaborative environment on Saturday, August 19, 2017. Visit womeninlinux.com for tickets and use code WILTSN for a 10% discount.
There it is, Women in Linux Summit 2017. Make sure you reach out to them on all social media at Women in Linux. Get your tickets, folks, especially if we can get a discount.
Yes,
Am I right,
yes,
Jay?
yes, indeed.
Make that choice. Make that jump. Let's get on these tech conferences. Let's get our game up. Get our technology knowledge up.
So
That's
beneficial.
what we're doing for.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes, yes.
All right, so moving along, let's move a little bit over into our Mobility Weekly. Now, when we talk mobility, we talk about the things that are happening on your cell phones, things that are happening with your portable devices, things that are truly making you that portable user. And with that, it looks like one of the companies we've discussed numerous amounts of time, especially recently with their initial public offering, IPO for those in the market, NBC has decided to partner with Snapchat and got something new coming down the pipe. Let's talk a little bit about this cord cutting that NBC wants to do with this new Snapchat flow. Jay, what's going on with this, man?
Yeah, well, first of all, let me go back to a statement or prediction I gave
Go ahead.
not too many episodes ago regarding Snapchat. I predicted that Snapchat would be dead in a year.
I mean, hey, yes.
But
Yes.
but out of nowhere, here comes NBC looking for a social media platform outside of Twitter and Facebook to put its content on and to continue to have original content. Now, what Snapchat is going to be doing and what NBC is going to be doing rather with Snapchat, they've been looking at all the different surveys. They've been polling different individuals to see do they like the experience that Twitter has offered them the last several years with different games and different shows, and what Apple is trying to do as well with watching social TV. And this social TV allows you to be with a group of your friends and be able to give your comments in real time and send a little funny emoticons, emojis, and things during the event, and also be able to be in larger groups. And this is one of the things they're looking to do as they try to diversify themselves, and they realize that they're losing so many subscribership from all these cable channels. We talked about DirecTV last week, finally bringing the cloud DVR, but they lost how many hundreds of thousands of subscribers in the last several years. And even though AT&T scooped them up in 2014. So it's just interesting to see that this move they made. But what do you think about NBC looking to use Snapchat as opposed to trying to do something with Twitter or Facebook?
So here's how I feel about it, right? I feel like everybody's fighting for exclusivity.
Okay.
So you got companies that want to make partnerships and collaborations with other companies so that they can bring about some things. What's up, Steve? We see you, man. We see you.
Yes.
Make sure you hit that share button, Steve. Steve Greger, we see you,
Yes,
brother.
thank you,
hit that
Steve.
share button. But you see these companies get together. They build these partnerships, collaborative efforts, so that they can be the first out the gate with something. So I think going to Twitter when Twitter's already worked with the NFL, already working with MLB, already working with these other sports networks and other networks as a whole, Twitter probably has a lot more, how do I say this, from a business perspective, they've got a lot more clout in the game, if you will, because they can kind of say, this is how we want things to be handled. Where Snapchat, let's keep it a buck, they're on their last leg. The
Right.
Snapchat goggles didn't work. The numbers are coming back. They're abysmal. So
right.
they're hemorrhaging money.
Right.
I think they're down. I remember when they were $22 a share. I think they're down to like 12, 13, maybe,
And dropping.
maybe lower than that. Like, it's
Right.
crazy. But I say, and this was recent, like 6 months recent. So I say
After the release of the goggles?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
that's right.
yeah,
Yeah.
they
They didn't do
L's.
anything for them.
L's. That's all
Right.
Snapchat is taking right now is L's. So I say that to say they are pulling wherever they can in offering up the baby Jesus so that they can get any deal that they can get from some of these companies. So I think that's what's happening. We're seeing Snapchat be the easiest network to work with, and even though they're hemorrhaging stock market pricing, they're hemorrhaging users because Facebook via Instagram copied all their features. So there's no real purpose of being on Snapchat.
Right.
And Facebook has the market set up. I mean, 2 billion users, you got to come to Facebook correct. And we already talked about it. They're doing their own content.
Yes.
So it's like it's going to be very difficult for big boys to get into the social media game. But I think it's important because how many people right now when you're watching Game of Thrones put out Thrones, y'all, and you sitting these tweets out.
Right.
And the Lannisters do something like social TV watching is important because we're a multitasking society now. So we want to be able to watch a show and see what people are saying about the show at the same time. So I think the concept is great. Wrong company.
But okay, so you don't think that the news show Stay Tuned was supposed to air twice a day on Snapchat? I think once in the morning and once in the late afternoon. And it's supposed to let people be able to speak out on their opinion on live news. We know on CNN, they had different things where they may take a polling or survey on their news and other things employ that. But now it's supposed to be you're in large groups and you're reacting to the news in real time that you hear around the world. But do you think that's going to be able to move anybody to want to subscribe to Snapchat to be able to watch that program and participate in that?
I would say if and only if they make it truly interactive, meaning that people are having conversations and that somehow shifts the conversation that the news anchors are having. So the people have to feel like they have a voice in the content. That's new.
Okay.
Because right now it's all one-sided.
Yeah,
right?
it
Things
is.
happen, we
Right.
tweet about it.
Right.
But people who are doing the things that are happening aren't watching Twitter and reacting to it as part of the normal show. You may see some tweets come in, like you say, or a poll goes out and people speak on that.
Right.
But nobody is actually helping to narrate the news via social media yet.
Right.
So a company that can do that and do it well, execute well, might have something. Might
Right.
have. Steve, let us know what you think, man. If you're still watching us, tuned in, let us know what you think. And of course, anybody else, Facebook Live, we want to let y'all know we give you a quick taste, just a little glimpse of what we do each and every week right here on Technocrats. But the show has to end just for Facebook Live. We're going to continue to go because we got a lot of other things to talk about. So what you need to do to make sure you get the rest of this content, go over to our website at thesphere.tv/Technocrats. You've got some options there: iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, and of course Stitcher for our techie folks. You can hop on, get full episodes, audio and video, depending on how you prefer, whether you want to watch us or just listen to us. We've got it all for you. Now, while you're at these platforms, hit the review button. We need reviews. Review us in iTunes. Review us in SoundCloud. Leave comments because that helps us rank up and it gives us more opportunities for more people to see what we're doing here. At the same time, make sure you share this out. Share this with your family, your colleagues, your friends, your haters, everybody. Make sure they get the content and they understand that what we're doing over here at The Sphere. And last but not least, if you truly love it and you want to sow into us as we continue to sow into you each and every week, donate. Go over to thesphere.tv/donate. Drop some coins on us. We've got two options for you. We've got a single donation as well as a Patreon donation. So on our website, and for those that are watching, we're going to get this up for you. We've got two different options. Make sure you hit the donate button so that you can get coins rolling in and we can continue to build and have better facilities and things that come out just for you for watching us over here at The Sphere. Once again, this episode will be up later tonight, if not early in the morning. So make sure you're tuned in and subscribed right at The Sphere. All right, let's keep this party going, Jay. As we transition out of our Mobility Weekly, let's transition into some digital trends.
Yes.
Now, I like the digital trends because I just like the future. I like things that are coming down the pipe. That's just what I do. Let me keep it a buck. That's what I do. Let me be 100 with you. So we were talking about social media early on from a mobile aspect, but digital trends, things that are coming down the pipe that we've kind of seen along the way. One of those big things is VR, right? Virtual reality, being able to put on a pair of goggles and be in a totally different digitized world. One of those big things that are coming down the pipe with VR is the fact that Facebook has decided to bring their live broadcasting to what they call Spaces or Facebook Spaces via a virtual reality app. So For those that are into the VR world, let's go there for a minute. We had a conversation about the fact that Facebook has something called Spaces. And because of Spaces, that means you can have an Oculus Rift unit and then basically enjoy Facebook with other friends in virtual reality. Now they're saying, you know what, we're going to be able to live broadcast to Spaces via an app, which I think is sort of, Jay, bridging that gap between what we do in the real world here and what they're going to be doing over in the virtual world.
Yes.
The big thing, once again, comes from execution. So here's the thing. Video is hot. We know that, right? Video is that thing that's growing Facebook at this exorbitant rate. If you can now have video playing of a Spaces environment, now you're technically, what you're doing is you're advertising Spaces to anybody who's watching Facebook Live. And now you've got other people like, well, what is that? Mm-hmm. I've got you're in VR. Mm-hmm. I'm not in VR, but you're live streaming from VR Spaces, and I'm able in regular 3D, regular world, I'm able to watch what you're doing in VR. I think that's hella dope. I think that's big. I think that's gonna help the adoption of Facebook Spaces. What do you think about this?
Okay. Well, I feel that this is my prediction. I'm finna give another one.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that this VR that Facebook is doing with 2 billion subscribers is preparing the world to be able to see that this is the norm, as a way to be able to talk to your long distant loved ones and see them, to be able to go on a virtual date. I guarantee your dating service is going to have virtual dating that's going to come via from Facebook. Talk to a chef, talk to your lawyer. It's going to be virtually during Facebook. You know, as if you're there. Go to VR meetings now for at the workplace. Mm-hmm. But the biggest thing I feel that's about to become of change is that video games are about to change forever as we know it. Now these different publishers, developers are going to leverage the platform that Facebook is on, and the people of this generation who are coming up utilizing Facebook Spaces are not going to want a world that's built on rails, so to speak, in a video game. They're going to want to actually be their real avatar going into a design world.
Exactly.
And Facebook is going to take them there.
Exactly. Now, what we just brought up for those that are watching us right now, this coincides perfectly with what Jay is talking about. This is the new trailer for a book called Ready Player One. And Steven Spielberg is doing this.
Oh, okay. Let me see this. I haven't seen this
yet. And basically,
okay.
what this trailer is for those that are watching, Ready Player One is basically the future existence, but with a virtual reality world called the Oasis. So you're going to see this kid that's sliding down on this pole right now. And as he hops in this room, he's going to put on his haptic gloves, He's going to grab his goggles. He's going to put all the items that he needs to put on to hop into this new digital world. And so this is what we're talking about. Facebook Spaces is taking you into what you're seeing right now, where we're headed to for VR. And this is, as I mentioned, this is the Oasis. So imagine yourself in these virtual reality worlds where everything is not built on rails, like Jay just said. Everything is what you want it to be. You can create your own escapes, your own environments. This is what virtual reality is going to look like in the future, simply because everything we've talked about, which is putting edge computing in, which is building these 5G networks, which is, preparing people with augmented reality from Google Glass. All these things are lining up to give you what we're showing you right now with this Ready Player One trailer.
Oh, wow.
This is exactly what it is.
Okay, wow. We in sync because, multiplayer gaming is forever being changed right now.
Oh, yeah.
VR is changing multiplayer gaming and AR. And as we talk about the edge computing, you can be walking mobilely throughout here, if you're in H-Town, and you can say, hey, I want to go to virtual H-Town. Now everyone else can join you in Facebook Spaces, and they can be with you. And you can turn anything augmentedly, an augmented reality, into a game or a new world, fictitious world. So it's just amazing where this is going, and the computing power, but we finally have infrastructure That's why infrastructure is so important. There's been architected to handle all this, to provide this service. And we need those 5G. Some people are saying, why they just going up and up 3G, 4G, just a numbers game? No, it's actual real data increases for throughput to allow these services to be able to run and to be offered to us to make these things possible.
Indeed.
And this is very exciting. And I think what Facebook is doing, for me as a gamer, I'm very excited.
It's a slow boogie.
Yeah.
Definitely a slow boogie. But what we also want to do is while these companies are doing these big things and they're making these big moves, they got to be able to advertise to you. So guess
Right.
what? This portion of the show is sponsored by The Sphere. So are you looking to start your business and looking for a place to advertise? Do you have a need to reach out to thousands of people across the world to build your brand or sell your product? If so, get your product placement and advertising needs handled right here at The Sphere. We offer a wide variety of content delivery platforms, including iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, YouTube, and Stitcher. Plus, we have a vast demographic reach within the United States as well as modern countries across the globe. Our enriched content and inspiring dialogue coupled with your strategic ad is surely to hit the mark every time. Call us today at area code 832-772-7789 or send an email over to advertise@thesphere.tv. So, we done talked about the Facebook VR. We done talked about the AT&T. We've talked about the Google Glass. We've talked about NBC pairing up with Snapchat. Let's talk about another big company, because this has been a big company show, Jay. This is pretty much what it's been.
Yes.
Big company show. So, and we're going to take this article, which is not our norm. We took this from CNN Money. And basically what they're saying is Great Britain's getting ready to shut things down when it comes to gasoline and diesel-based vehicles within the next 25 years. By 2040, they are banning all gasoline and diesel cars. Now, let me be clear, folks. This is not the first company that has said they are getting ready to start banning diesel and gasoline cars. Europe has been on the front line of saying this from, we talked about Sweden, we talked about Germany, and here you are, Germany and London, or Great Britain or England, that whole area for Great Britain, which includes Wales, England, Scotland, I believe is a part of Great Britain, because it's different between Great Britain and I forgot what the other term is, but there's a couple of different terms in there. UK, United Kingdom.
Right.
So it's a little bit different, but the point is, everybody in Europe, as far as their number one and number two, they're moving towards these non-gasoline powered vehicles. So we're talking fuel cell, we're talking electric, we're talking hydrogen, we're talking all these different vehicles that are able to propel you not using old school kerosene derived gasoline, because that's where we come from kerosene. So I'm excited about this one because I just think it's healthy, it's good. I think that's going to continue to push the rest of the world towards the same direction. And a lot of people need to remember, even though, America is the leader when it comes to what we do, globally, like we kind of lead and we set the example, whatever, we are still only 4 to 5% of the rest of the world's population.
Exactly.
So when other countries start to make moves, we have to pay attention to that. And they're making moves with some vehicles that are made right here in the United States. Yeah,
that's interesting you say that, because I was just thinking about the different legislation things that's taking place in the states to show that they are all for still keeping the fossil fuels and keeping the combustible engines and keeping oil and gas going strong. And it's not even to acknowledge that it's a need to move, to transition into some of these other proven systems of energy. And hearing this news right here is great for to me, to know that someone else, such as Britain, is jumping on board. The hometown of a BMW, Aston Martin, who else? They have a lot of good cars. So to see that they're going to be moving to that, and also to sales. I think a recent report came out this week that sales so far with 2017 is already 40% higher than it was last year in electric vehicles. So it's definitely people are responding, and it's here to stay, and people are letting everyone know that it's time to make a change.
Yes, indeed. And once again, man, overly important. We can't survive on this planet not utilizing the technology that's in front of us.
Right.
You know, we talk heavy about technology. The only reason why we've been sitting on gasoline is because it's been profitable for the few
Right.
versus for the many.
Exactly.
That's the only reason why we've been on gasoline this long. We
Right.
could have had Teslas and Chevy Bolts and all these other cars out decades ago.
And since World War I and II.
Exactly.
World War II, rather, yeah.
If you would have had people that were willing to say it's not about the profit motive. It's not about putting yourself always, not gouging, but always gouging people for on the prices to try to make
Right.
this additional percentage.
Record profit.
Exactly.
Not profit,
it's a shame,
record
but
profit.
record profits.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. We've been on this form of fuel for 100 years, literally. Since
Yeah.
we're talking 1904, 1905, we've been using gasoline as a derivative from kerosene. It makes no sense when we could have been doing this, saving the planet,
Mm-hmm.
and still allowing jobs to be built, jobs to be had, companies and factories to be built, building batteries everywhere. Things could have been so much further for other technology that rely on batteries, like cell phones, laptops, all these other
yes,
things, drones,
yes.
all these things that rely on batteries. If we would have gotten into the electric car game 20, 30, 40 years ago,
Exactly.
everything else would have benefited. But no, it was the greed of a few in regards to oil. But we've got the technology here. We hadn't even talked about Model 3 yet. We've got the technology here, though.
That's such a good point you just made about the greed of a few. And a lot of people don't want to acknowledge that, but just a few people can control and pull the strings and set the tempo for this entire world.
Mm-hmm.
And I give a good example of that. Just look at Elon Musk.
Yeah.
One man, individual, who using his power and position and inserting it to be disruptive in so many different energy and utilities industry, also in the travel and transportation industry.
Yep.
So you can see just how it takes just a few people to keep most of the population of this earth subdued in poverty. And we can see how that power needs to be wielded wisely. And so you never should think that your voice or anything that you try to ascribe to is valueless. Because we can see just what he is doing is causing people to join his ranks and invest in him wisely.
Yeah.
But speaking on that too as well, a lot of things we have to give attention to in this world, but it's nothing more important than our health. And one of the things that can really affect our health is keeping a good heart and the teeth, and keeping oral care is important to the heart. And on that note, this portion of the show is sponsored by Elite Dental Wellness. At Elite Dental Wellness, our vision is to create a welcoming practice that would offer exceptional dental care and a lifetime of dental wellness. We are committed to the finest possible oral care and the overall health and well-being for our patients. Elite Dental Wellness is built upon a foundation of integrity, expertise, and service. Through our commitment to modern dentistry, continuing education, and friendly atmosphere, we strive to make our patients feel that they are part of our family. Dentistry can be scary, daunting, and uncomfortable. Dr. Batiste and her team work tirelessly to ensure your comfort. Make your appointment today with Dr. Chandra Batiste at Elite Dental Wellness at 713-789-8680.
Let me hop in real quick. Oh, side note. Make sure when you call Elite Dental Wellness, say the Sphere. And if you say the Sphere, you get an extra 10% off.
Oh, there you go.
So you got to say those coins.
Okay.
So looking back in this article where we were talking about here for Britain making a decision about stop selling gasoline cars in 2040. France is also on board with that for 2040. India has said they're going to stop selling gasoline-powered vehicles by 2030. So 10 years ahead of the game. And the funny part is that United States probably has the most opportunity. United States, Japan, and some parts of Europe, but United States, Japan for sure, because we've got so much infrastructure already in place. Elon Musk already has his network. You can drive anywhere in this country and hit a supercharger for free with your car, depending on when you bought it, what you have, what model you have. So put that little asterisk behind the word free.
Now,
but yeah, so but the infrastructure is in place. You go to Japan, They're big on CHAdeMO out there.
Right.
CHAdeMO infrastructure is in place. Superchargers are in place in parts of Europe, all over Europe, from Sweden and Norway all the way down through England, across the sea over to all in France and coming down to Italy. You've got superchargers in place. So you've got the network being built out by one company. It just takes everyone else to either do one or two things. You either adopt the technology, and if you do adopt that, you know that you're literally going to be putting dollars into Tesla's hands. And we talk about Tesla because they're the ones on the front side of this right now.
Yeah, they're the pioneers.
They're the biggest electric car maker in the world right now. So just what it is. And the highest value pure electric car maker in the world.
Didn't they supersede BMW? I think.
I don't know if they supersede BMW. I know they were more valuable than Ford when they were at about $380 a share. Then they bounced down there about $335 right now.
Okay.
But I say this to say, yeah, it's a shift of money because if it's open technology, open source, but you start utilizing their network, they're gonna put some charges, tariffs, taxes, whatever the case is.
Right.
So money will be spent, but the infrastructure is in place, and we need to utilize it, and other people need to hop on and either build your infrastructure or do what you need to do. But this is where the world is heading.
Yes.
Gasoline will be extinct finally in this millennium.
Yes.
Gasoline will be extinct. No questions about it. And we thank that to technology.
Yes, indeed.
That's it.
Yeah. I enjoyed this show, bro.
Yeah, man.
It was great. It was great
Good
today.
show.
Yeah.
Boom. We're out of here. Jay, let the people know where they can reach you, man.
Hey, y'all keep on hitting me up on Twitter and not Instagram, but Instagram at AstroTesla80.
There it is. And, of course, you can reach me anywhere online, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at G Hawkins. That's G Hawkins with a Z. You can reach us here at the show. Remember, at the Sphere TV, #Technocrats, or shoot us an email, technocrats@thesphere.tv. This has been another great episode of Technocrats. We will see you all next time. Take care.